Hi, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today I'm joined by DarkPactCosplay. They are a Magic the Gathering cosplayer,
Yo.
as is in their name. They
Hee.
have done some phenomenal cosplays, like absolutely mind-blowing stuff, ranging from
Thank you.
Ashiok to Sauron to ones that I have completely blanking on, but I've still seen them and they're still super cool. Um,
It's okay. Half the time my face is completely concealed. So like half the time I tell people I do something, they're like, "Oh, you did that? That was you?" It's like, "Yes, I am a master of disguise. Thank you."
would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Pronouns, what you do in the
yeah.
Magic Sphere, all that.
Yeah, so Darkback Cosplay, although you can call me Evan too, that's my name. They them pronouns. So as you said, Magic the Gathering cosplayer and content creator. I do MTG ambassador content from time to time and official appearances at Wizards events as well as their official cosplayers for Magic Cons and other things. I've walked like Chris Cox out on stage for the Hasbro Centennials Ashiok, so they kind of just what Hasbro and Watsy kind of just uses me whenever they feel like it, and as long as there's a check involved, I usually say yes. Um, aside from that, I'm trying to get into some D&D content that I'll be doing soon. I'll be doing a D&D stream as well coming up. But otherwise, you can catch me on a lot of like gameplay streams and like shows like Shuffle Up and Play as well too. I've been on a few episodes of those. So yeah, I kind of just bounce around everywhere in the Magic community. I'm mostly at the events oriented stuff, but I kind of try to make my rounds everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool, and I'm truly honored you're joining us today, joining me today.
Yeah, of course. No, I 1000% would be here. I'm glad you asked me. I
Yeah,
loved
gladly.
your stuff when we first met at
CubeCon, yeah.
CubeCon. I was just like blown away by your art style. It's like, yeah, to be completely frank, you like run into so many different people that make like tokens and arts and like alt arts and like alters of cards too. And like there is like somewhat of a sameness with some like the majority of artists, I would say, not all of them, but like you have such a distinct style that like stood out to me and like just really spoke to me. So I was like, the second I saw your stuff, I was like, oh my god, that is really cool. I want to
Thank
be
you.
friends with you.
I really appreciate that. I
Yeah, of
try to be
course, of
different.
course. You succeed, friend. You succeed.
I will say I'm really the only one, mostly the only one, practically the only one doing like those altered quivers that are a thrill to me.
Yeah, yeah, those are so flippin' neat. Oh my
Modfly does them
god.
too, and there's been a handful of other people who have made them. Like Demonic Tutor on Instagram has made a few, and
Mhm.
Valerie Fatality has made a few.
Sure, sure.
But the only people who are like constantly making them are me and Modfly.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
Modfly
Yeah.
Zenai's style is a lot different.
Yeah, yeah, y'all have very different stuff. I love Modfly to death. He did my the altar for my oh my god, my not unset card. Um Oh god, it was the Gavin Unknown event card. So they
Yeah,
made a card of me for that, and I literally just handed him off a card because it's like all blank and white. I'm like, I would love because I go by Dark Pact Cosplay, so the original Dark Pact by Quentin Hoover. I'm like, oh my god, if you could draw me as like the wizard in Dark Pact from Alpha, that'd be so freaking cool. And literally got it down to a freaking T.
yeah.
I was just absolutely blown away by it. Just some of the best work in the community, truly.
I'm blown away by his stuff, and it's super cool to call him a comrade.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just thankful that he even was willing to make room and time for it. I know how absolutely busy he must be doing all this stuff, and everybody wants him to do an altar for their stuff all the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, I want to get one of his
Yeah.
things eventually. I'm just too poor for him.
Yeah, it's pricey. It's pricey, but like he's so worth it though. Like 1000% worth it. I would, honestly pay double.
Yeah,
It's so freaking good. Oh God,
but I will say
goodness.
his quivers are a lot more. What's the right word? Precisely detailed.
Sure, sure. I've only
Um,
seen a couple of them. I haven't seen a bunch of them before.
he's good at doing like other IP. Like he's done Storm from X-Men. He's done, I think,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's done Soul
Yeah,
Calibur. I
yeah.
think.
Hmm.
He's done Soul Calibur or some sword, some big sword. I think it was Soul Calibur.
Okay, okay.
He's
Yeah,
done One
yeah.
Piece before,
Sure.
but his stuff doesn't look like this.
Yeah, no, no, it's completely different. Jeez.
This way.
I love almost like the I can't even say the word. The compartmentalization of it, almost like there's sections that have their different like moods and feels to them, and there's very like it alternates throughout the piece, and I find that so fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a fun little style. I've not nailed per se, but I've gotten used to.
Artists never nail their style, right? It's just always ever evolving and changing, right?
But there are 17 unique red cards on this.
Jeez. Insane. I guess that's somebody's all red decks quiver.
Uh, so this was actually a gift to me from Quiver Time, and
Okay, okay, okay.
they said I could do whatever I wanted with it because they meant to send me.
Sure.
They meant to send me a different case for a thing I'm doing
Hmm.
for Tulare Community College's Trans Lifeline campaign.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I said I'd do a custom quiver for one random winner,
Sure, sure.
and I still have it. I'm been working on it in the background. Um,
Nice.
but they sent me a red one first, and I'm like, I
Mm,
asked for a black
okay.
one. Sorry, I'm not trying to cause a problem. And they're like, oh no, it's our fault. It's
Ah.
so sad. You can keep the red one, do whatever you want with it.
Aw.
So
Well, that's nice of them that
it
they're
was.
willing to
They're
work
great.
around that.
I
Yeah.
love working with Quiver. Quiver is fantastic. But I made this one as practice for the black one, which is a scarecrow one,
Hmm.
and I auctioned this off. Well, I didn't auction it off. I sold it where I got 225 for myself and 225 for a Trans Lifeline,
Nice.
and
Very
then
nice.
Taya Transcends bought it, and what's their pronouns? A minute. Yeah, okay. Taya Transcends bought it and is going to do it
Hmm.
for a stream of theirs.
Very nice.
And so
That's
this is also
gorgeous.
coming with a customized deck box from Quiver as well, which I'm going to
Very
work on
nice.
over.
Very nice.
And then I'm going to foil peel this mountain and stylize it.
Ooh, I've always been interested to see how foil peeling works. I've never actually watched the process of somebody like dissecting a card prior to the altering of said card.
So there are two ways to do it, and both involve
Yeah.
acetone. There's you take
Hmm.
acetone to
Hmm.
it in like an X-Acto knife, and you like literally like um weaken the initial layer,
Sure.
get the X-Acto knife and like peel off the foil pits and like put them on otherwise.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then what I do, which is technically not peeling, it's more just like full on destruction, is I take acetone and Q-tips or acetone in like a wash rag and just get rid
Uh-huh.
of everything, just leaving behind a foil blank
Okay.
and then painting on that.
Okay. Okay.
I have some examples in my little binder over here.
Do you use certain paints that like allow like the foiling to come in underneath it, or is it mostly like a an additive process where you leave like certain parts like foiled out so you can like highlight certain sections or use it as like a highlight essentially?
Yeah. So what I usually
Yeah, yeah.
do is I use Posca pens primarily when I paint.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Sure.
I like how they work. And what I do for the foil peels that I'm pulling out right now, before just doing something else
Mm-hmm.
before I forget, is I peel them. I get rid of the top layer,
Mm-hmm.
and then go the way. I then paint over it with white, and then I scratch off what I want to be foil. So there's an example.
Oh. Oh, that's fun. I love that. That's so cool. Give you a secret lair, jeez.
Yes.
I'd actually buy those 5 islands.
I think I have another one somewhere else. There it is. That one I know where it is though. Don't have to dig it out. That's a negate I did.
Ooh. Yeah.
Dig it out of its
See, that
puppy.
makes me want to play a negate now.
Hey, I mean it is for sale.
Ooh, keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. I did just drop $200 on singles though, so.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But
Oh
then
God.
I go over the ink. I go over the black with ink to give it a sort of gloss look, and then I gloss the card itself.
Okay, okay.
But that's kind of what those look like.
No, those are fantastic.
Thank you. But I'm going to do that with that mountain.
Yeah, yeah.
I put these altars away. How's your map making going?
It's going. I'm trying to make like so in my campaign, there's Videlkins in it, and these
Oh,
Videlkins
cool.
have submersible vehicles, and I'm trying to make something that like, God, there's like one image, there's one MTG vehicle that's like an actual submersible, and I'm trying to like
Silent
match that
submersible.
style. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to match that style by like flooding together a bunch of PNG arts right now. I use Incarnate, and that like obviously has a bunch of like pre-made assets on it, and they're not going to have the exact style like thing that I want. So you kind of just have to like Frankenstein a bunch of stuff together and change color values and stuff, and hope that it all looks kind of cohesive and makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh. Wait, do they have? Oh, yeah, I guess they do. Have wings. Yeah, okay, that could work.
I'll try to draw a lightning bolt on the side of this deck box.
Hell yeah. Most iconic spell for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us about cosplaying. What got you into that?
Oh God, what did get me into that? That's a great question. So I have always been a Halloween kid, I think
Of
is the
course.
main thing that kind of put me down that path, right? So like every year it was always a big deal for me to figure out what I was gonna be for that year. Go to the Halloween store and figure it out and pick it out, right? Um, and my grandmother owned a clothing repair shop when I was a kid, and like she'd alter things for me, and then eventually taught me a few of the steps of how to use a sewing machine and fix things myself and change things myself. And that eventually led to me working at that clothing repair store for a number of years. That was like basically my first job when I was a
Oh,
kid.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So I worked there for a number of years and learned like all my fundamentals of sewing. Um, and it got into college, and I found out that people went to these things called cons, and they dressed up there, and I went, oh my god, I have an opportunity to wear my Anakin Skywalker that I made for Halloween last year and not have it be weird that I'm wearing that somewhere. So I went to that, and there was Anime Milwaukee, I think, like back in like 2016 or something like that. And that just like completely like blew my mind that people did that, and I got super duper into it. Um, I was mostly into like the Star Wars stuff, obviously. So like there was a lot of resources out there for me to like learn stuff. So I just like spent a lot of time trying to get like really, really good at like reproducing Star Wars costuming really, really well with the hopes of like joining like the 501st or something like that before I like
Yeah.
got over joining the 501st because it's a waste of time. You heard it first, folks. Um, uh, yeah, but then and I just kept doing Star Wars stuff. Then kind of like meandered into like I love the villains of Star Wars. Then I love villains, and I kind of developed a brand around like doing villains and anti-heroes and kind of stuck with it because I love the color black, so it just works out.
Hell yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, yeah. So been a long journey. I didn't really get like professional in it until like honestly after like M30, so back in like 2022 when I got the won the cosplay contest in the first Magic Con. That's when life started getting serious.
I'm sure.
They're like, "Oh, you want to be Elish Norn in Philadelphia in like a month and a half?" I'm like, "Sure." And panic built thing in my tiny little Chicago apartment at the time, and I haven't turned back since. Now
Hell
I kind
yeah.
of do it somewhat
That's fucking
professionally, at
sick.
least. Yeah, I mean, I have a day job, but like that's
Yeah.
like, that's the fun money I get to earn and helps me, pay for the hobby at least. So at least it's cash neutral.
Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of where I'm at with
Mhm.
doing magic arts and crafts practically. Is
Yeah,
I
yeah,
usually try to have magic stuff pay for magic.
sure, sure.
So um, that's what except when I have to have non magic stuff pay for like bills and shit, which tends to be
Yeah,
how it is from like September, like mid September to February, March. But during the summer when I have a job for the past few summers, I usually am able to save up a little bit, pay for bills, pay for that, and then still work on artwork as I'm able to, and
sure,
use that to buy cards and save up for various cons. I was able to save up a lot of money doing art stuff and doing cases and altars and playmats to go to
sure.
CubeCon last year,
Yeah, yeah.
and I
That's
feel
such a good con. I love
it was,
QCon so much.
it was, and I got to meet a lot of really cool people that I hadn't met before, and a lot of people I've been meaning to meet or had met like briefly before.
Hmm.
A lot of the judges know who I am just because of word of mouth.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it was cool being able to talk to some judges who knew me and I've talked to before, and then other judges be like, "Oh, you're this person," or have some of my judge friends be like, "Oh, hey, other judge or other person, here's this person
Yeah.
who makes this really cool stuff. You should check them out." And like as an artist,
Yeah.
as a creative in the scene, that sort of like comment, that sort of moment is the thing you live for.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it,
That's the best part of like going to those things, honestly. It's just like being able to put faces to names and like actually getting to know the people, especially in like the art scene
yeah,
of magic stuff. Like just so amazing to actually get to meet these people and hang out and talk and
yeah.
learn about stuff from them, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it was really cool. And then I got to meet the second person who paid for a quiver from me. I made him an Esper quiver, and he's really proud of it. He really likes it. I played cards at his house,
Hmm.
had some cocktails. Um, it was like mind blowingly cool. And even though I was
Yeah.
like kind of flying by the seat of my pants because like I had enough money to go to the event, but I didn't have enough money to pay for stuff at the event.
Yeah.
So whilst I had packed food, once it got to the end of like the day zero or whatever,
Hmm.
the person I went to the con with and I went to a Target nearby,
Mm.
and we're like, all right, we're gonna get our food for the week, and my friend had like uh, however much money I don't know, but like he had a job and he had all that, and I had like $35. I had to stretch out for food for the entire like 6 7 days,
Yeah, I know that life.
and it was like I figured it out. I got like a canister of pistachios. I got a large bag of beef jerky. I got um, a small pack of water bottles, even though I had one, I just kept refilling,
Mhm.
and a box of granola bars. Which that's a lot getting at
Awesome.
Target. That's pretty smart money at
That
Target.
is. That is. Sometimes it can be difficult getting anything from Target under like $10.
Yeah, I was pretty proud of myself.
You should be. That's insane. Jeez.
Uh,
Don't do that to yourself again.
I'll try not to, but that's one of those hard parts where like when you're like, I've lived in poverty almost my entire life,
Hmm.
and like I'm not terrible with money, but like it's always going to something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there's always bills to pay. There's always something else that needs to be taken care of, and like I never really have a chance to save up. Or
Yep.
if I do, it's just like paying something else. And during the summers when I'm able to save up, I'm able to get a security, all that.
Sure.
It's just one of those things where CubeCon was at the end of September or like
Hmm.
middle of October, and I had paid off all my bills for September, but I didn't pay all my bills for October. So like on the way to CubeCon, my phone bill was due.
Oh Lord.
So I was finagling and talking to some people, and I was able to get a commission from somebody on the way to
That's
CubeCon to
good.
pay off my phone, and then to pay for like food and stuff on the way there. But
Yeah.
like I had to get out of the negatives first, so I was like negative like $120, and then I got 300, so I used the rest of it to pay for like my phone bill, which at the time was more expensive because I was paying off my phone,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like a snack at a gas station, and then the remaining like 35 some dollars I used to Target.
Oh Lord. Jeez.
And I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
well, I've gone days without eating before. I don't like doing it, but like I'll be okay. And then like day one or day two at CubeCon, someone else was like, "Hey, I'd like to commission you for a playmat," and I'm like, "All right, if you find me, I will do a proof of concept right here, right now. I'll sketch out the whole thing, my whole idea. I'll talk it through with you. We'll come up with a great idea,
Hmm.
and then you pay me. And then once I'm back from CubeCon, I'll work on it." They said that was perfect. That's fine, and that worked out, and they ended up paying me, and that paid for the rest of my events. And I thought it paid for my Ubers too, but apparently like another bill had done it, and so by the time I got back from CubeCon, give or take a few days, I was back
Hmm.
to like negative 120 because all of my Uber bills had added up and been pulled
Started
on there.
heading. Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez.
come on.
That's rough.
But I was able to make it still, and I was able to have a nice time. I was able to have food, and
That
like,
sounds tight as hell, though. Jesus.
yeah. And that's fully like if I get the new perspectives grant for Atlanta, great, fantastic. I'll still probably be tight.
Yeah, yeah. Even with that stipend, it's expensive to travel out there for sure.
Yeah. And CubeCon, I'll try to make it. I'll try to save up, but like I have no idea. But the fact I can say that I did it once is still good enough.
Yeah, it's pretty great, honestly.
It's like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like just one day out there.
Oh man, yeah, you should do the new perspectives though. That's
I did.
it's a great way to do those events, and at least takes a lot of that weight off of you, so you can at least have a little bit more fun, and you get like all the VIP benefits too. On top of that, it's such a good program.
The hard part
I,
is
I was part of the first graduating class, and I loved it to death.
oh hell yeah, I bet, and that's super cool. The hard part for
Mhm.
me is I either tend to be very short-worded or very like long-winded.
Mm-hmm.
No in between, as you probably have learned a little bit now. Um, and so I filled it out yesterday night or last night, whatever. After like getting high with a friend and playing like having like there's a burger and beer night at a local bar where they also do trivia.
Hmm.
So we had food, we had drinks, and then we went to go get ice cream once we're done. And I'm home just feeling like super full and super tired. I'm like, ah, fuck, I gotta do the fucking new perspectives grant because if I don't do it now, I'm not doing it today. So I had, I took a shower and then like, for me at least, when I take a shower, it's either a warm shower makes me tired or makes me comfortable. Cold shower I almost never
Hmm.
do just because it freaks me out.
Yeah.
But if I do a hot shower into a cold shower, I like shock my body and be like, oh yeah, I'm awake. And I did that and was able to do my new perspectives form. And I kept running out of character limit for some of the answers, and I didn't know
Well,
what to.
honestly, it's a better place to be that you have to take things down, or you have to like write less, right?
I should have like really thought about it and boiled it down, but I had no idea how to because it was like 1:32 a.m.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like the final typing question is the one where it's like, do you have anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to mention? And
Hmm.
I really value honesty and like being transparent with things. And I said, listen, I know I'm doing this like last minute. It's because I didn't have any confidence in myself to fill it out. I felt like I wasn't worth it.
Hmm.
Yes,
Oh.
I'm a queer content creator in the Magic Sphere who's been in the Magic Sphere since 2019 doing magic inspired
Hmm.
artwork, who has
Yeah.
worked with content creators, worked with all these cool people, has been on all these different channels, and has been like people who are like a fan of a fan sort of thing,
Sure. Yeah.
like a D tier magic celeb kind of thing. Like Jack Sparrow, like you're by far the worst pirate I've ever heard of, but you have heard of me, right?
You have heard of me.
I'm not saying I'm as cool as Jack Sparrow, but like that ballpark.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I said very clearly, it's like I know I'm doing this last minute. I just felt like I wasn't worth it, but I know
Oh.
that I'm the sort of person that this is for. And even if
Yeah,
I
you're
don't,
exactly the person it's for. Yeah.
and like even if I don't get it, I'm glad that they have that potential for people who are like me.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, it's so deeply important that they continue that, and that it honestly they should expand it to more people for cons, like since like the first year of them doing it. Just they I know, like, I speak to the people that like run the program now and do the applications and stuff. Just the amount of people that apply to it is just insane. Because the need's so, deep. Because, like, shit's so expensive. Everybody's barely getting by to survive, and there's so many amazing people in this community that deserve a chance to have at least one cool, amazing experience at a Magicon, right? And try to make something out of themselves at it too. Like, it's such a great opportunity to just like get yourself there and get yourself in front of the people you've always wanted to like meet and know, you
Yeah,
know? Um, it's really hard to beat that in you know, if you're interested in being in the creator space, so to speak, you know?
you know,
Yeah. I think I got a submarine. Woo.
hell yeah, good for you.
It was a lot of finagling of some steampunk parts, some sci-fi battle map parts, but I made it work.
I'm trying to do this case. I'm trying to think of what I want to add to it because I have a lightning bolt motif on this side that
Sure,
I
sure.
expand onto. Then I have a little red mana thing on that side, and then that side I want to do something, and then that side I want to do something. I just don't know what I want to do yet.
Do you typically map out everything
No,
before you do anything, or are you like improvising?
I have a mental map, which is not a good way to map
Hmm.
things out.
Yeah,
With alters, I usually map them out beforehand, just give the client a perspective of what I'm doing.
sure.
But for quivers, I kind of give an idea of what I'm doing, but not entirely.
Hmm.
And um, this quiver box is a completely new ground. I've not done anything like that before.
Okay.
But like here are some drawings I've done of altars. Or like that's a Verdant Catacombs.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a Magda quiver that like never came to pass.
Hmm. That's really cool, though. Dang.
Somebody wanted Optimus Prime's boots on a Swiftfoot boots.
I'm a big Transformers fan, so that's amazing.
That was a Through the Breach altar work in progress. A Swan Song token. My Arcbound quiver. I don't even remember what altar that was for, but that's kind of a cool artwork.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
This is for a Shaku, because Nadu was legal. That's for a Twisted Metal inspired Godo Bandit Warlord.
Ooh.
Uh, that's Tezzeret vaping. That's not an altar. That was just a drawing I did of
What
Tezzeret
the
vaping.
thing? No, I love it. Iconic.
Tezzeret, Master of Vape, because canonically Tezzeret vapes.
Of course. I would be surprised if he didn't, honestly.
Yeah, he's that extra.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. 1,000%.
There's the helm of the host for the Godo. So like that's the helm that Godo's wearing for the Twisted Metal thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a
I
Fallout.
love Helm of the Host.
There's a Fallout inspired Kinnan.
Ooh. Yeah, like the Pit Boy
Yeah,
version of him. Yeah, I love that.
and a lot of these are on my Instagram. Like they're just there.
Hell yeah.
But I keep a little stack of like work in progress drawings underneath my computer.
You gotta.
And then I have my little book of drawings right there. That's I also use as a art palette.
I used to draw a lot bunch more. I mean, I draw now for like I concept out everything that I make now, just for reference for myself because I tend to like do amalgamations of different arts into one
Mm-hmm.
piece, especially if like magic stuff, you literally have to take like 5 or 6 different art pieces and they're all doing the character slightly different and you kind of pick and choose and you make your Frankenstein baby.
Yeah, but you do pretty well with it.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. It's like honestly, I find it vastly more fulfilling than like yeah, I was telling you I did Star Wars stuff like that helped like um solidify my skills for sure and got my repertoire up, but you know, I don't want to be just recreating Darth Vader's helmet from episode 4 scene number 53 for the rest of my life, you know. Like, I wanted to like do my own stuff and add my own twists to things and write love letters to characters that mean a lot to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's super cool.
So yeah, it's tough to do though when you're just trying to replicate something exactly as it appears on a screen or an image or something like that. So I think I just prefer the whole doing a a combo of images or like mashing up images to make something just feels a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
You know?
At least the good thing in Magic is, whilst there's only a limited number of like, um, what's the word? Sources for like a character.
Hmm.
Sometimes there's almost no sources. Other times there's like mounds upon mounds of sources.
Sometimes you're
References.
Liliana Vest and you've been drawn probably like 300 different ways in Magic the Gathering.
References. That's the word I was looking for. References.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, like Elishnorn's been drawn a bunch.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one. That was a really really
I'm
difficult one
sure
to
that
pick and choose.
headpiece is
Uh,
intricate as hell.
yeah, yeah, that was insane. You know, having a 4 foot wide boomerang on your head all day is not an easy task, especially when you're in a corset and heels and hip pads. Um, uh, it was a lot of fun though, because like it was right around the time that All Obi-Wan was coming out, so you had like Magali's art that came out, the Junji Ito art that came out as well too. Like they must have had like 5 or 6 different arts of her that came out with that set. And it was very difficult to like pick stuff, but I think I initially just kind of like set on Magali's artwork and just kind of went from there and added bits and pieces from other arts that I liked. But making that head boomerang was so difficult. It's
I'm sure.
essentially like sculpture wire with EVA foam over the top of it to give it structure, and I had to like design a way for it to come apart in 3 pieces as well too.
Because
So
you
it
gotta fly it out.
separates at like the crack seams on it, and then has little like peg systems with magnets, so I could get it into a check bag.
Yeah. I'm nervous about.
I always wonder what like a TSA agent would think if they opened that up. I don't think I've ever had my stuff opened up yet, but that's that's probably got to be between the fake red tits and giant porcelain armor.
And
They
like
gotta be like,
out of
okay.
context, it looks really weird. In
I'm sure a
context, it
lot
looks
of the
weird.
things they open up throughout their day is probably looks really weird without any context.
Like I know the
I
TS.
always write like I always write like a one pager that like I include in my suitcase just in case it does get opened up, just to like for my sanity, so people know what it is and what it's made out of. But not everybody does that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. At least for a while, some airports, not all airports, but some airports
Mhm.
did like a yearly collection of all like the sex toys they've gathered.
You could have a sale,
I guess.
a very cursed sale. God. Oh Lord, I do not envy that work at all.
Yeah,
At all. Goodness, goodness,
I think
goodness.
I've figured out that painting these cases is maybe not applicable because this paint is not sticking well, and these curves are being a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Do you have to like prime those surfaces at all?
No, not usually. I just paint
Potentially.
on them.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I just notice the paint's a little bit wacky.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it a little bit, but how did you start doing cosplay and such?
Um, I think we kind of talked about that a little bit, didn't
Yeah,
we? With like me,
Star
uh,
Wars.
starting at my like working at my grandmother's repair shop and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean that was like kind of the main antithesis was like her giving me all the skills that I needed. Shout out Grandma Frelick.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was her, and then like I don't know. I just like I really the con culture really like. is what did it for me, I think, was just like the people that do this hobby and that like get into this and spend the time trying to figure out how to make these really impossible things in your garage,
Yeah.
right? Like we're essentially doing the work of like an entire Marvel movie studio in our garage, which is insane, absolutely insane, and all of the audacity. Um, but it's something about that like challenge of it, of the impossibility of it, or like especially when you do something for the first time too that no one else has really done. And you get to like impart that knowledge onto other people.
Yeah.
I just find that really, really rewarding.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you get into the whole painting altering thing? I'm curious.
Uh, so painting and altering is fairly new.
Hmm.
Um, I think I started it like 2021, 2022, because like
Sure.
I'd seen other people do alters. I'm like, I think I can kind of do that, but like I'm not very confident in my skills. I had made some alters before,
Sure.
but like they didn't turn out very well.
Hmm.
But I'm
Hmm.
thinking, okay, if I get like paint pens, I can do some alters and see how they turn out.
Yeah, yeah.
And most of them turned out pretty decent. Not great, but decent.
Sure.
And I've just been kind of doing that on and off since. The quivers,
Nice.
I saw the quivers and I'm like, that can be painted on, as far as I know. And so after I finished this huge community project, the one that's on my playmat,
Hmm.
where people can pay $10, I'd add their favorite magic thing to this huge canvas.
Yeah, yeah.
After I finished that project, I wanted to do something nice for myself as well as pay off bills. So
Hmm.
I got
Hmm.
myself a quiver and I'm like, I'm gonna paint on this. And I did that to my quiver, which looks like this. It's heavy because there's shit in it. But that's my personal one.
Ooh, wow. She is packed.
Yeah, I know. She's hefty. Filled
Ooh,
to the brim.
as it should be. Oh my goodness. You got a favorite deck now? Is it in there?
No. I don't really pick favorites. I have ones I like playing.
I know I'm asking you to pick your favorite child right now, right?
It'd be this one. That's my CDH deck. That's Kark and Sakashima.
Nice.
That's my Mono Blue Braids deck, which is like a group symmetry deck. It's like kind of group hug, kind of stacks.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very weird. I love playing it. It pisses people off. And like I emphasize like, hey, listen, I'm going to be the enemy here. This is not group hug. This is not stacks. It is group symmetry. It's kind of in the middle.
Actively prepared to be the target.
Yeah, I don't get mad when I die, and so it has a win con. It's not me doing nothing. It's not a chaos deck. I have a
Yeah,
plan. It's just the way to get to that plan is not necessarily the most direct,
sure, sure.
but it's very fun. I love playing it, and I'm going to slowly get this deck all altered out. So that has a lot of alters in it. Not a lot, but has a
You
handful of
gonna do it
alters.
yourself, or you're gonna find some friends or other artists to do it?
So far, I have one for myself and a handful of other artists.
Cool.
Uh, Let me find them.
I love it when people do full altered decks. I think that's really neat, but it's like such a crazy. Even if you're doing it yourself, it's such um, a hefty process to go through,
Yeah,
either financially or functionally.
mm-hmm. It's
Lots
a
of
lot.
drawing. Go. Okay. I'm finally in the phase of making this map where I actually like what I'm doing,
Okay.
which is great. Love that. I always have the issue of like starting something, whether like anytime I'm making anything, if it's like for work, if it's art, any of it, it's just like so hard to do those first couple steps because I'm just like, I hate this. I hate this. This is so
Yeah.
nothing, formless, nothing. And then you know, get an hour into it and you're like, oh my God, I know what I'm doing.
Life ain't too heck, yeah. So here are the altars I
Yeah.
have for the deck so far. I have these two from my friend Mike from Playing with Power, Sad Robot Altars. The
Ooh.
negate is an
Oh,
actual
those are
foil peel.
gorgeous.
So let me take it out of its
Nice,
sleeve.
nice.
These sleeves are a bit cloudy because they're old. Nope. So
Yeah.
that's the foil peel negate.
Wow. That's gorgeous. Yeah, I love the foiling of that circle around the figure. That's so cool. Dang.
Then, so before I was painting, I've done a lot of magic inspired playmats and proxies. I do not sell proxies. Do not ask me to sell proxies. I just have to legally say that. I did a lot of Magic the Gathering inspired playmats and proxies and all that.
Hmm.
I was fairly well known and still kind of am for a black and white style.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what the playmat below is. It's all black and white and it's all that same sort of style.
Hmm.
But my friend Mike wanted to. I asked him to make me an altar, and he did it in my style for Gyri Sanitarium.
That's so fun when like artists riff on each other's like styles too. I love that.
Yeah, so that's that one. Then I have this engraved or in it's engraved, but it's not engraved. I forget the exact word. Debossed, maybe. This engraved slash debossed Stormtide Leviathan,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
where you
Where
kind of see.
it's like you put the grooves into it, right? Is that how
Yeah,
that works? Yeah, yeah,
it's hard
yeah.
to see on camera, but you can. There you go. See,
Very cool.
so that's from a small deer who I had on my art stream a while back, and they were lovely. And then this is a windfall from Lincoln Incan,
Wow.
who I've also had on. And a
That's
small deer and I
gorgeous.
traded altars, and then Lincoln and I traded altars.
We love art trades.
Absolutely. And then I have this island from Thin Capuchin, which I also was an altar trade.
Oh wow. It's all that pattern work at the bottom of that. That's wild.
Yeah. And Finn was my last
Jeez.
art stream guest. And then this is from Fox.com, who just did one of my robots. And I traded Fox
The
most.
likeness, it's uncanny.
Yeah. What's this one? Oh, this is what I made for myself. It's back to basics.
Ooh. Oh, that's so cool.
I had to cover up
Wow.
turf artwork, so I did.
There you go. I might have to hit you up to do that for a couple of I have a couple Harold McNeil ones that need to be covered up.
What
There's
Harold
a
McNeil cards
darkness
do you
that
have?
I think I have a Sylvan Library and a Darkness. I got the
Darkness.
Sylvan. Um, I think yeah, he has a Darkness card, doesn't he?
I
Right?
think so.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's basically that or like the Warhammer art, which is like I don't like. I love the Warhammer decks, but I don't like putting Warhammer art on my Magic decks. But
Not a
yeah,
UV fan.
I got the Sylvan Library from like a thrift find. I found a binder and that was in there.
Oh,
I
nice.
wouldn't buy that card otherwise, and I definitely got that Darkness before I knew what his deal fucking was.
Yeah.
You know?
So I have a very funny but very dark sort of Harold McNeil story.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's less of a story and more of a character. So
No.
remember that person I mentioned where they were like full Juggalo makeup and
Yes.
wearing the like flea market Rakdos slash Juggalo T-shirt.
Yes.
Okay, so that person. When I saw that person, they're going to a local game store.
Okay.
In this local game store, I have not met this person, but I know a lot of people who have. Has a player there who I think used to be a judge. Maybe they are,
Sure.
maybe they are not. Maybe there's like a store judge, not an actual judge. Who has a signed? Also, as far as I know, this person is gay. From some of the stories I've been told about them,
Okay.
they are a gay ex-judge who has a signed Harold McNeil Invoke Prejudice
Why?
because they
Why
think
would?
it's really cool, and they show it off whenever they get the chance.
That is not the flex you think it is. Like, it's literally the equivalent of like going around a card shop of a fucking like, look at this SS cap that I got. Isn't it neat?
Yeah,
It's like, don't do that. For the love of God, please don't do that. Oh my God, that's just gross. Oh,
that
that's
same
icky.
store. I used to go to that store a decent amount until that store partnered up with a neo-Nazi coffee company, and I don't go there anymore.
Oh, is it that guy,
Black
the
Rifle.
quartering?
It
Or
is
okay, okay,
Black
okay.
Rifle Coffee.
Black Rifle Coffee. I haven't heard of them, and probably for good
They're
reason.
huge. They say they
Oh
support
Lord.
veterans. They really don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All
You
their
think
stuff,
to
like their money goes to like Turning Point
guys?
USA,
Oh God, yeah. No, thank you.
and
No, thank
their
you.
money goes to lobbying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They don't
And
actually support
there's
veterans. They just say they do,
that's so disappointing.
which is really shitty because that game store is like practically across the road from an Air Force museum.
Ah, man. I mean, I can kind of see why that would happen, but at the same time, like, man, that's just disappointing. Just
So
disappointing.
I don't go to that store anymore.
Yeah, understandable. I would also not go to that store anymore. Oh, thankfully I don't deal with any of that in Chicago. If the stores around here, I'm thankful for that.
That's what I've heard. I have a friend that recently, well, not recently, like a past few years, moved to Chicago, and she's
Mhm.
been very pleased with it.
Yeah, it's great over here. I mean, it's expensive as all living hell, but it's worth it in my opinion. Like, yeah, it's expensive to be here, and cars kind of suck being here too. But like, you also don't have to deal with assholes in your communities for the most part. You know, at least neo Nazis
Yeah,
hanging out. You know,
yeah.
and I'll take that trade off. I like it here too. I'm a Midwest person, so I'm used to the environment. And know some people are like, I can't handle the cold. I'm like, it's whatever. I just spend more time with my cards inside then.
Yeah. I've been to Chicago a few times. I really liked it. It's just not somewhere I'd really want to live for too long.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I get it.
I've been there 3 times. Once to visit Shed, no,
Nice.
twice to visit Shed Aquarium, and once to go to like the main downtown just to look at stores and such.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I avoid downtown like the plague.
Oh no, I've been there 4 times. I went there on a youth trip once too.
Yeah, yeah.
Back when I was a conforming Christian youth.
Ooh.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Though VeggieTales still
It's
have a soft spot in my heart, but that's different.
Listen, it's good music, and nobody can tell me otherwise. I don't care if it's slightly indoctrinating.
It's really not that indoctrinating.
It's actually pretty not, and like actually kind of good lessons for kids for the most part. I
Yeah,
have very few things that I disagree with on that.
like the worst part about VeggieTales, other than the fact that like it eventually got really bad,
Did it?
it got so bad. The worst part about
No.
it though is that like it's Bible stories and like every episode is like, and remember, God made you special. He loves you very much. Bye bye, and that's fine. That is like pretty harmless.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I would agree.
if that's the worst thing that's happening, that's really
I'll
not
take it.
that bad.
Yeah.
Sure, if you're not a religious person, maybe some of the stories don't really resonate with you. That's fine. And like
Yeah, yeah.
some of them do chalk up to like God did this magical thing. Wasn't he so wonderful? But like they're Bible stories. They're all like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And like every religious text has their stories.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Like
sure.
it is really hard to live in this world, especially in the US, and not know religious stories.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah. And like they're
Everybody's got their take on them.
exactly. Sometimes they're for people, sometimes they're not, whatever. But like learning about them and their general lessons isn't really that bad of a thing.
No, no.
Like one of them is don't be afraid of the dark, or like learn to share, or like stand up to bullies. Don't lie. General like
It's yeah,
platitudes.
hard to beat that, honestly.
It's still
There,
religiously tilted.
kids see weirder shit online.
Yeah. Like if I for some reason had kids, I don't. But if for some reason I did, and I was given the choice between Veggitales and like Skibbity Toilet, I'd be like, "You're watching Veggitales." I'm not that
Yeah,
religious, really.
that's an easy choice,
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm not that religious, but like I know what's a good children's media, sort of thing.
I'm like a poorly practicing witch, so don't even ask me either.
I
I
don't
don't
think
have time to think about God. I spend all my time in cardboard.
I don't think there's Veggitales for witches.
No, no, there isn't. But somebody should really corner that market. That'd be really cool.
Maybe you never know. That could be the next big thing.
It really could. Really could. Let's change the opacity on that. Perfection.
But I still have some VeggieTales songs memorized. They
Oh,
live in my brain.
where is my hairbrush?
The one I know the best is from Rack Shack and Benny, which is a retelling of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Um,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
but the first song is "Good morning, George. How are you? I hope you're doing fine. I'd love to stay and talk, but it's almost 8 o'clock and I haven't got the time." And it just keeps going.
Jeez. Okay.
But back to my deck. So the white one is
Yes.
my with my camera focuses. The white one is my John DeWheels deck.
Hmm.
It's Winter Misanthropic Guide.
It's a great card. It's a really good card, actually. Jeez.
And the deck is fun. It's my like bracket 3, bracket 4.
It's about where most of my decks sit, honestly.
Mm. And then I have Kraken Sakashima CDH. I love the deck. I it's a near and dear deck. I've been building Kraken Sakashima since they came out in 2020, 2019. Commander Legends was 5 years ago.
Oh, don't say that. don't, God, don't say that.
My
Oh,
bones!
oh no.
My
Oh,
bones!
it's been 84 years. I think that was the first collector box I ever bought because I was just so enamored with, like, it's Commander stuff. that was my jam, and that was like mid COVID too, right?
It was the beginning of COVID.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I initially bought that thinking I was gonna like do like a what? Yeah, I got that, and I got like a fat box or something, and I thought I was gonna do like a little like sealed pool with some friends or something when this all got over, and then it never happened. So I just opened all of it.
Yeah. Commander Legends was November 20th, 2020.
So not quite 5 years, but it's like it's there though. It's it's there.
There are children who have been born who have no idea what it is.
Uh,
Whole lives, whole existences have come into being and have been vanished all after Commander Legends came out.
oh, oh, why? It's just so like, and everything moves so fast too that I have like no frame of reference for anything anymore.
Yeah.
So like, I think everything's happened in the last like 2 years. That's actually happened probably in the last like 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ay ay ay.
I moved out of my parents' house late 2019, moved in with my ex, lived with my ex till 2023, like late
Wow.
2023, like mid late
Yeah,
2023.
yeah.
Have been living with my grandmother since, and it's still like talking to my ex now. It's just like time had like both passed at a accelerated rate and also not at all.
Jeez.
My ex has fallen in love with a second person, and like not really, and then fallen out of love after that person cheated on her.
Time's a crazy thing, man.
Yeah, I have really bad luck with roommates. I've had 3 roommates when I was with my ex. One of which was my best friend.
yeah,
She was great, but she had some health problems, and she was a little bit. Her health problems affected things sometimes.
sure. Yeah.
Still near and dear, still love her. She's still very close to me, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's not unfair to say she affected some things. And then the second roommate
Mm.
was the one I mentioned to you before we started recording.
Mhm, mhm.
And then the third roommate was an old friend of mine from high school who was figuring some stuff out. And then she started transitioning like halfway through,
Sure, sure.
which great, good for her. I'm happy for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the more she transitioned, the more of a bitch she became.
Oh.
I don't use that term lightly, but it's the best word to use.
Well, the shoe fits.
Like, she was so petty. She was so manipulative. She was so, like, underhanded.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
And, like, she drove a wedge between my ex and I, and, like, by the time I realized what she was doing, it was too late, and she caused me to have a mental breakdown.
Oh man,
And,
jeez.
um, it scared my ex, and my ex was like, "You're staying with your grandmother for the weekend?" And then I stayed with my grandmother for the weekend, and, like, right when I was about to, like, get a ride back to my apartment, my ex was like, "We're breaking up. Get your stuff out by Saturday."
Yikes.
It was bad.
Oof.
So
No, no, that sounds hard.
my ex and that roommate had a relationship a few months after I was out of the picture, and
Mm-hmm.
my ex had thought it was really beautiful, really lovely, not quite perfect, but it was okay for what it was for a while. And then that roommate cheated on her
Oh my god.
with like some random puppy girl in Canada.
Not the puppy girl in Canada.
Yeah, Canadian puppy girl, and
Get fucked, eh?
exactly. Um, so the roommate abandoned her dog, abandoned a lot of her stuff, left the whole apartment a huge mess, and hightailed it to Canada to be with the puppy girl.
Priorities, I guess? Oh god.
And
Yikes.
she had her passport, but she didn't get a visa, and she was trying to seek asylum, but she was trying to seek asylum the completely wrong way. And like Canada's not really accepting asylum from the U.S. really.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Not
are, but
yet,
not really.
anyways, but
And
oh my god.
so that roommate just dealt with like a whole bunch of shit in Canada. Had to sell off everything she brought with her for the most part, and was
Yeah.
jobless for a while, practically homeless for a while, and then she got
Oh my god.
practically deported, and now she's like couch surfing in like Oregon somewhere.
As one does.
And like, I'm not someone who seeks out revenge. I'm really not. I
Yeah.
realize it is not a great thing.
No, no.
But that being said, I have gotten my revenge by the sheer fact that I'm doing better than she is, and that
Karma is a powerful, powerful thing. It really
yeah.
is.
And then I had a hand in my helping my ex stand up to the roommate and like say
Sure.
some things my ex wouldn't have said otherwise. And um, I got to speak through my ex to that roommate.
Hmm. Honestly, that kind of sounds low key like a prize right there.
It was so good. It felt so good. And now I'm helping my ex clean out her apartment. And like my ex is like, I have all this stuff of Alicia's. Alicia's the roommate, and
Sure.
I don't want it. I don't need it. I have nowhere to put it, and like it's impossible to sell it because it's all in pieces. So I'm like,
Hmm.
well, I'll help you sell some of it, and some of it I'll just keep. So I got like $100 worth of Legos last week,
Nice.
and I'll be getting
That's a
another.
hobby I can't get into, otherwise it would end me. I already have too many very expensive hobbies. I would just, I would go into bankruptcy immediately after touching like a single brick.
Yeah, it's rough. And then there's another Lego set I want to probably pick up tomorrow. Um,
Do you
that's
have
like
like a particular fandom that you collect at all, or do you like a certain set of things
I
particularly with that?
not in particular. I like a really iconic looking sets
Sure.
or sets that just seem like they'd be fun to build,
Oh yeah.
like spaceships and cars and astronauts and space stuff. I like,
Hmm.
but I also have the Pride Lego set, which is really cool and a great set to pick up.
Ooh. I didn't realize Lego was gay. Oh,
Yeah, it's a great set.
nice.
I'll send it to you. It's fairly cheap too.
Oh, nice, nice.
Like, don't get into Lego; they're expensive. But if you're going to, or even if you just want a good shelf piece, buy that set.
Okay, all right, all right.
Let me type it up.
Cool. All right. I probably need to mosey out pretty soon here. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I have to make
Oh, you
myself
should
some
definitely eat.
food if that's cool with
But that's
you.
no, that's perfectly fine. Thank you. Let me send you this set,
All right.
and we'll wrap it
Yeah.
up. I'll let you shill what you want to shill. Oh
Sure, sure.
oh shit! This says twenty
Oh
percent off.
God, what do I have to shill at this point? Oh yeah, I have my D&D stream that'll be coming up soon. We're working on tech stuff at this point, just trying to make sure everything works because I'm, of course, doing all the bells and whistles for everything. So we're making sure everything works, and hopefully in a few weeks we'll get together and get it all going. We pretty much have everything set up, and I'm obviously designing maps right now for it
Hell yeah!
for first couple sessions. So I'm very excited about that. Keep an eye out on my socials, DarkPactCosplay. Otherwise, events wise, I'll be at MagicCon Atlanta for sure. I'll be competing in the Grand Championship cosplay contest there.
Hopefully,
Um,
I'll be able to see you there.
eh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It'd be great to see you there. I don't think we've hung out at a MagicCon, right? I think we've only seen each other at CubeCon, right?
Yeah, just to keep
Maybe
going.
possible. Yeah, yeah,
I can't
yeah.
afford to go to Magic Cons.
Yeah, they're expensive. They're expensive. I hope I can do CubeCon potentially. It'll depend on how intensive the stuff is for
Magic Con, yeah.
the yeah for MagicCon for prepping for that. If I get the stuff done early, if they give me the project early, I'll definitely go out because Madison's like right in my backyard, and my dad lives in Madison, so it works perfect for me. Get to see my dad, get to play some Cube. It's a good time. So yeah, yeah. those are all my plugs.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciated it. Um,
Yeah,
love to have you on again sometime because this was a lovely conversation.
of course. Yeah, I'd be down for it. You just let me know, and
You're in
I'm
my
there for
Discord.
it.
That's what it's there for.
Hell yeah!
But thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for still watching. If you're on Twitch, make sure to follow. Keep an eye out for other streams. I'll be trying to do these Mondays and Thursdays because those are days I have a little bit more time off at work. But we'll see how that goes. Um, keep an eye out. I'll be doing another stream probably tomorrow where I get back to my Beyond's Brawl builds where I build a random Brawl commander and see how far I can take them.
That's
And
another thing I need to get into is Brawl.
it's okay. Like it's a little bit
Like, I
homogenous at
want to
times.
make like a deck, right? Like just a deck.
I have a lot of them, and like I have a challenge on Brawl where like I have a randomizer that's a friend of mine and I
Mhm.
designed for a Scryfall,
Mhm.
where I get a random. I go through it 5 times, get a random arena commander, and build around it to the
Sure.
best of my ability, and see how long it takes me to get to 5 wins, or an hour and a half.
Wow. Jeez.
And it's pretty
That's
fun.
insane.
It's pretty successful. Sometimes it takes longer than others, but other times it's not too bad. But if you're on YouTube, which this episode will be on YouTube, like probably in May,
Great.
make sure to follow. I mean, not follow. It's Twitch one follow. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Who would you like to see on future art streams? Um, what sort of art would you like to see me work on? Also, this is the last deck I was working on. It's a wheel deck. It's another wheel deck. There's a theme here. But anyway,
I
thank
also
you,
like my wheel decks.
thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.